In this video, we share 5 real stories about the most disturbing deaths of college students while traveling. These tragic events highlight the risks and dangers young travelers can face. These stories serve as a reminder for students to stay vigilant and safe. Watch to learn about these heartbreaking cases and the lessons they teach. On January 28, 2013, 21-year-old Elisa Lam checked into the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. Elisa was a Canadian student from the University of British Columbia, traveling alone along the west coast of the United States. Despite her family's concerns, Elisa was determined to explore on her own, keeping in touch with her parents daily to ease their worries. The Cecil Hotel, where Elisa stayed, had a notorious reputation. It had been home to infamous serial killers like Richard Ramirez and was known for numerous suicides and overdoses. The hotel was divided into 2 sections, one for short-term visitors like Elisa, and another for long-term residents in Skid Row, an area with high crime rates and homelessness. Elisa was supposed to check out on February 1st, but she didn't. Her family, worried after not hearing from her, reported her missing to the Los Angeles Police Department. Police searched the hotel but found no trace of her. Her belongings, including her ID and medication, were left in her room, indicating she intended to return. The case gained national attention when the Los Angeles Police Department released a surveillance video from January 31st. The video showed Elisa acting strangely in an elevator, pressing multiple buttons, peeking out, stepping in and out, and making odd hand gestures. The elevator doors remained open throughout, adding to the mystery. The video went viral, sparking numerous theories. Some thought Elisa was on drugs, but toxicology reports found no illegal substances or alcohol in her system. Others speculated she was having a psychotic episode due to her bipolar disorder, as she was not taking her medication correctly. On February 19th, nearly 3 weeks later, maintenance worker Santiago Lopez was sent to check the hotel's water tanks after guests complained about low water pressure and strange-tasting water. To his horror, Lopez found Elisa's body floating in one of the tanks, her clothes and belongings beside her. Finding Elisa in the water tank deepened the mystery. The tanks were hard to access, located on the roof behind locked doors only staff could open. The roof could be reached via a fire escape, which would trigger an alarm, yet no alarm had been reported. The tanks were 10 feet high and required a ladder to access, but no ladder was found at the scene. The coroner ruled Elisa's death an accidental drowning, but many questions remained. How did she get onto the roof undetected? How did she climb into the tank? Why were her clothes found in the tank but not on her body? These unanswered questions led to numerous conspiracy theories. Some believed she was murdered and her body was hidden in the tank. Others suggested supernatural involvement, citing the hotel's dark history in a horror film, Dark Water, which had a similar plot. Adding to the intrigue, a tuberculosis test named Lam Elisa was being studied near the Cecil Hotel at the time of her death. This coincidence fueled more bizarre theories linking her death to bioterrorism or government conspiracies, though no substantial evidence supported these claims. Amy Price, the hotel manager, revealed that Elisa had initially been in a shared room, but was moved to a private room due to complaints about her odd behavior. Price described the stress and heartbreak of the situation, especially with media and public scrutiny focusing on the hotel's dark past and its role in Elisa's death. Despite the coroner's ruling, many internet sleuths remained unsatisfied with the official explanation. They pointed to the elevator video, alleging tampering, and questioned why no alarms were triggered if Elisa had used the fire escape. Elisa's case became the subject of numerous documentaries, including Netflix's crime scene The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel, directed by Joe Berlinger. The series aimed to provide a responsible retelling, emphasizing the real human tragedy behind the sensationalized stories and internet theories. Berlinger highlighted the role of web sleuths in the investigation, showing how their focus on coincidences and conspiracies sometimes led to misguided conclusions. While acknowledging that online investigators can do valuable work, he pointed out the potential harm when speculation overrides facts. On July 14, 2016, Nicholas Leslie walked along the Promenade des Anglais in Nice, France. The sky was filled with fireworks celebrating Bastille Day. Nicholas, a 20-year-old student from the University of California, Berkeley, was there with his friends. They were part of a study abroad program focused on entrepreneurship and they had been living in Nice for the summer. Nicholas was from Del Mar, California. He loved the ocean and enjoyed kite surfing, scuba diving, and surfing. He was tall, athletic, and had a confident but humble nature. In high school at Torrey Pines, he played lacrosse and was the co-captain of the speech and debate team. At Berkeley, he was majoring in environmental sciences and planned to start studying at the Haas School of Business in the fall. The promenade was crowded with families, tourists, and locals enjoying the celebration. Nicholas and his friends were among them, enjoying the festive atmosphere. But the night took a tragic turn. A white 19-ton cargo truck driven by Mohamed Lahouaj Boulel, a 31-year-old French-Tunisian, sped through the crowd. The truck zigzagged for over a mile, hitting people indiscriminately. The celebration turned into a scene of horror. People screamed and ran, trying to escape the rampaging vehicle. Boulel had scouted the area on July 12th and 13, planning his attack carefully. He killed 84 people and injured more than 200 others before police shot him dead. Among those killed was Nicholas Leslie. After the attack, Nicholas's friends realized he was missing. Posters with his picture were put up along the promenade as the search for him began. His family flew to France, hoping for good news. While on a layover in Paris, they received the devastating call, "I regret to inform you your son did not make it." The news hit the University of California, Berkeley community hard. Chancellor Nicholas Dirks expressed the collective grief. Nicholas was one of 85 Berkeley students in the study abroad program in Nice. 3 other Berkeley students were injured: Vladislav Kostyuk, who broke his leg, Diane Huang, who broke her foot, and Darius Medora, who remained in the hospital with a broken leg. This attack came just 2 weeks after another Berkeley student, Tarishi Jain, was killed in a terrorist attack at a restaurant in Dhaka, Bangladesh. The French government faced strong criticism for failing to prevent the Nice attack, the third major terrorist attack in France in just 18 months. President François Hollande ordered reservists to be called up and increased security measures, but for many it was too little, too late. Back at Berkeley, a vigil was held for Nicholas on July 18, 2016. Students, faculty, and community members gathered at Sproul Plaza to remember him. The event was somber, reflecting the deep sense of loss felt by those who knew him. Nicholas's parents were heartbroken by the loss of their only child. They remembered him as a bright, adventurous young man with a promising future. Nicholas's father reflected on their journey of healing. He spoke about the enduring pain, but also about the strength they found in unity and empathy. "We need to choose love over hate," he said. "Not a day goes by that we don't think about our Nicholas, but we choose to focus on the love and light he brought to our lives." It was a sunny morning on March 10, 2023. Liza Burke, a 21-year-old senior at the University of Georgia, was on a spring break trip in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Liza was full of life and excitement, always seeking new adventures. She was accompanied by her boyfriend and a group of 53 friends, ready to make the most of their vacation. Liza woke up that morning feeling slightly off. She had a headache, but she brushed it off as nothing more than a minor inconvenience. She had a busy day planned, starting with a gym session with her boyfriend. After working out, she joined her friends for breakfast. However, the headache persisted, becoming increasingly unbearable. By the end of breakfast, Liza could barely see and decided to lie down in her room to rest. Hours later, her friends tried to wake her up but received no response. Panic set in as they realized something was terribly wrong. They called for a doctor at the resort, who quickly advised them to rush Liza to the hospital. In a desperate attempt to save her, her friends jumped into a cab and sped to the nearest medical facility. At the hospital, doctors discovered that Liza had suffered a brain hemorrhage. Initially, they suspected it was caused by a ruptured arteriovenous malformation, or AVM, a tangle of abnormal blood vessels connecting arteries and veins in the brain. Her condition was critical, and immediate surgery was required to relieve the pressure in her brain. Liza's mother, Laura McKeithen, was informed and quickly made arrangements to be by her daughter's side. Laura flew to Mexico and arranged for Liza to be airlifted to the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida, once she was stable enough for transport. On March 14th, Liza and her family arrived in Florida, where a new team of doctors took over her care. After extensive testing, the doctors ruled out AVM and delivered devastating news. Liza had a grade 4 astrocytoma tumor, also known as a glioblastoma, one of the most aggressive and malignant types of brain tumors. Liza's family was heartbroken but determined to fight. Liza underwent a 6-week course of daily radiation treatments in an attempt to shrink the tumor. Despite their hopes and prayers, Liza's condition continued to deteriorate. She experienced another brain hemorrhage on April 13th, and her doctors performed a procedure to drain the blood from her brain. Still, the medical outlook was grim. Throughout her treatment, Liza remained courageous and strong. Her mother, Laura, was constantly by her side, supporting her through every step. Liza's hospital room was decorated with colorful pictures of her friends and family. Despite the severity of her condition, Liza showed moments of lucidity, communicating with her mother by squeezing her hand or wiggling her toes. In a conversation with Liza's oncologist, Laura asked if earlier detection of the tumor could have changed the outcome. The doctor explained that the result would likely have been the same, highlighting the aggressive nature of the tumor. As Liza's condition continued to decline, her family made the difficult decision to stop her treatment. They wanted to give her a peaceful and beautiful send-off, surrounded by loved ones. Laura found a house near the water, where Liza could spend her final days in a serene and comforting environment. On April 19th, Liza moved into the house by the sea. Friends and family gathered to be with her, offering their love and support. Liza was dressed in colorful pajamas, a gift from her boyfriend's mother, and her hair was braided by her brother Jack's girlfriend, Ellie. Liza's dog, Bean, stayed close, sensing the gravity of the situation. In the early hours of April 28th, Liza took her final breath. She passed away peacefully, holding her brother Jack's hand. Her mother, Laura, shared the news in an online journal, expressing both relief and sorrow. Liza was now reunited with her sister Edie, who had passed away in 2008 due to a rare genetic disorder. Liza's family planned 2 memorial services to celebrate her life, one in Athens, Georgia, and another in her hometown of Asheville, North Carolina. They also established the Liza and Edie Burke Education Fund at the Foundation for the Carolinas, honoring both sisters and supporting educational opportunities for young people at the University of Georgia and beyond. In the days following her passing, Laura reflected on her daughter's incredible personality and accomplishments. Liza had lived an adventurous life, achieving more in her 21 years than many do in a lifetime. She spoke 2 languages, played guitar, traveled the world, and embraced every opportunity without fear. Her friends and family remembered her as a genuine, dynamic, playful, and fierce individual. She had a unique ability to live life to the fullest, inspiring those around her to do the same. It was about 7 p.m. on June 30th, 2016, when 19-year-old Bo Solomon arrived in Rome, Italy. A sophomore at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, Bo was eager to begin a 5-week study abroad program at John Cabot University. This trip was supposed to be an exciting adventure for Bo, a young man known for his outgoing personality and resilience, having survived a rare form of cancer as a child. The evening started joyfully. Bo and his new friends from the university went to a pub in the lively Trastevere area, known for its vibrant nightlife. They enjoyed the night, sharing drinks and conversations. But this happy beginning soon turned tragic. Around 1 a.m., Bo disappeared from the pub. His friends, initially unaware of any danger, continued their night out. The next morning, Bo's roommate grew concerned when Bo did not show up for the orientation at John Cabot University. This worry deepened when repeated attempts to contact Bo failed. By Monday morning, the worst fears were confirmed. Bo's body was discovered in the Tiber River 3 days after he went missing. He had a head wound and there was blood on his shirt, raising immediate suspicions about foul play. Italian police quickly began an investigation. On July 5, 2016, they detained Massimo Galeotto, a 40-year-old homeless man living near the river. Galeotto was charged with aggravated murder. The police alleged that Galeotto had pushed Bo into the river after a violent argument. Bo's friends and family were devastated. They remembered him as a kind, joyful person who always brought happiness to those around him. Rowan McDonnell, one of Bo's closest friends, expressed his heartbreak on Facebook, calling Bo a life-changing friend who lit up every room he entered. Bo had just completed his freshman year majoring in personal finance. His high school years were filled with achievements. He graduated magna cum laude and was involved in sports, student council, and mentoring programs. He was a beloved figure in his community, known for his bravery during his battle with cancer and his warm, charismatic personality. As the investigation unfolded, more details about the night of Bo's disappearance emerged. Surveillance footage showed Bo leaving the pub and walking towards the river. It is believed that he was robbed either at the pub or on the street, and then tried to follow the thieves to get his wallet back. His credit card was used in Milan, over 350 miles away from Rome, racking up more than $1,700 in charges. Witnesses reported seeing Bo near the riverbank where Galeotto lived in a makeshift camp. Galeotto, who had a history of petty crimes, admitted to arguing with Bo that night. According to his girlfriend at the time, Alicia Penacchioli, who lived with him in the camp, Galeotto pushed Bo during the argument, causing him to fall into the river. She later changed her story, adding to the confusion and complexity of the case. The news of Bo's death shocked both the local and international communities. University of Wisconsin Chancellor Rebecca Blank described Bo as a bright and caring young man whose enthusiasm for life was contagious. John Cabot University expressed deep sorrow over the tragic loss of one of their students. Bo's family flew to Italy seeking answers and justice for their son. They met with Pope Francis, who offered them his condolences and prayers. The family also filed a lawsuit against John Cabot University, alleging negligence and reckless indifference for not warning students about the dangers of the area around the river. The trial against Galeotto began in Rome, attracting significant media attention. Prosecutors accused him of manslaughter, arguing that his actions led to Bo's drowning. Galeotto's defense maintained his innocence, suggesting that Bo's fall into the river was accidental. The court was presented with various pieces of evidence, including grainy surveillance footage and testimonies from witnesses who were present on the riverbank that night. During the trial, Galeotto appeared calm, maintaining that he did not push Bo intentionally. His defense lawyer argued that the real culprit was still at large, suggesting that someone else might have been responsible for Bo's death. The conflicting stories and lack of clear evidence made the case complicated. In June 2019, Galeotto was acquitted of the charges. The court concluded that there was not enough evidence to prove that he had committed the crime. This verdict was upheld by an appeals court, much to the dismay of Bo's family, who continued to seek justice for their son. On March 6, 2022, Aiden Navarez, an 18-year-old freshman at Arizona State University, or ASU, arrived in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, with his friends to celebrate spring break. They checked into the Hotel RIU Santa Fe, excited for their vacation. Aiden was known for his cheerful and positive outlook on life. Just a day before their trip, he shared with his best friend and roommate, Jack Fitzgerald, how happy he was. "Jack, we have the best lives ever," he had said. The following day, in the early hours of March 7th, Aiden accidentally fell to his death from a low wall at the hotel. This wall, about knee height, was deceptive as it appeared to be bordered by shrubs. In reality, these shrubs were the tops of palm trees with a 20-foot drop on the other side. Aiden's friends were shocked and heartbroken by the incident. His friend Jake Reithinger, who was also on the trip, described the wall as misleading, making it easy to mistake the dangerous drop for a harmless bush. The fall was ruled accidental by the authorities. Aiden's death certificate confirmed that he died from the fall, but it did not specify whether he had drugs or alcohol in his system. This left some questions unanswered. Aiden's parents, Sarah and Matias Navarez, were notified of their son's death by the U.S. consulate a few hours later. The news was devastating. "You can't breathe, you can't process anything, you don't feel like anything is real," Sarah Navarez shared. They expressed their grief and urged for changes to prevent similar tragedies, suggesting better signage or higher walls at such dangerous spots. Aiden was remembered fondly by his friends and family. His GoFundMe page, set up to help bring his body back to Arizona and cover funeral expenses, raised over $100,000. The page described Aiden as a happy, charismatic young man who lit up any room he walked into. His friends shared stories of his kindness and positivity. One friend recalled how Aiden's smile could change your mood around, even on a bad day. Aiden graduated from Pinnacle High School in 2021, where he was a member of the wrestling team. His former team remembered him as a bright, respectful, and caring person. His death has left a significant void in the ASU community. Classes resumed at ASU on March 15, 2022, without Aiden, leaving his friends and classmates to cope with the sudden loss. Jack Fitzgerald, who was with Aiden in Mexico, remembered their last conversation. At around midnight on March 7th, Aiden put his arm around Jack and told him he loved him, showing his appreciation for their close friendship. Jack reciprocated the sentiment, not knowing it would be their last moment together. A few hours later, Jack received a text informing him of Aiden's fall. "I dropped right to my knees in my room and I just couldn't believe it," he said. Another friend, Aiden Brown, who knew Aiden since elementary school, expressed his shock and grief. The friends gathered to support each other, sharing fond memories of Aiden. They spoke about his love for life and how he never took anything for granted. Aiden's impact on those who knew him was profound. His mother, Sarah, noted how heartwarming it was to see how many lives her son had touched. "We love him so much, and we're going to miss him until we see him again," she said. Aiden had big plans for his future and was majoring in financial planning at Arizona State University. He wanted to help younger people understand finance. The tragic accident has prompted discussions about safety measures to prevent similar incidents in the future. Aiden's family and friends hope that his story will be a reminder of the importance of safety and awareness in unfamiliar places.